The activity of God, which is transcendent in blessedness, is the activity of contemplation, and therefore among human activities that which is most akin to the divine activity of contemplation will be the greatest source of happiness. It is not always the same thing to be a good man and a good citizen. Wickedness is nourished by lust. All persons ought to endeavor to follow what is right and not what is established. Quitting smoking is rather a marathon than a sprint. It is not a one-time attempt, but a longer effort. Fortune favors the bold. Well begun is half done. Health is a matter of choice, not a mystery of chance. The energy of the mind is the essence of life. The actuality of thought is life. Wicked men obey for fear, but the good for love. The mathematical sciences particularly exhibit order, symmetry, and limitations, and these are the greatest forms of the beautiful. Happiness does not consist in pastimes and amusements, but in virtuous activities. Art completes what nature cannot bring to finish. The artist gives us knowledge of nature's unrealized ends. The ideal man is his own best friend and takes delight in privacy. Good habits formed at youth make all the difference. All teaching and all intellectual learning come about from already existing knowledge. A flatterer is a friend who is your inferior, or pretends to be so. The character which results from wealth is that of a prosperous fool. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. It is well to be up before daybreak, for such habits contribute to health, wealth, and wisdom. The trade of the petty usurer is hated with most reason. It makes a profit from currency itself, instead of making it from the process which currency was meant to serve. Their common characteristic is obviously their sordid avarice. For just as for a flute player, a sculptor, or an artist, and, in general, for all things that have a function or activity, the good and the well is thought to reside in the function, so would it seem to be for man, if he has a function. Teaching is the highest form of understanding. Whatsoever that be within us that feels, thinks, desires, and animates, is something celestial, divine, and consequently imperishable. Being a father is the most rewarding thing a man whose career has plateaued can do. If some animals are good at hunting and others are suitable for hunting, then the gods must clearly smile on hunting. It is not enough to win a war, it is more important to organize the peace. Excellence is an art won by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtue or excellence, but we rather have those because we have acted rightly. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Teachers who educate children deserve more honor than parents who merely gave them birth, for the latter provided mere life, while the former ensure a good life. The best way to avoid envy is to deserve the success you get. Justice is that virtue of the soul which is distributive according to desert. The wise man does not expose himself needlessly to danger, since there are few things for which he cares sufficiently, but he is willing, in great crises, to give even his life, knowing that under certain conditions it is not worthwhile to live. No excellent soul is exempt from a mixture of madness. The more you know you don't know. Hippodamus, son of Euryphon, a native of Miletus, invented the art of planning and laid out the street plan of Piraeus. Every wicked man is in ignorance as to what he ought to do, and from what to abstain, and it is because of error such as this that men become unjust and, in a word, wicked. Happiness is the settling of the soul into its most appropriate spot. My best friend is the man who, in wishing me well, wishes it for my sake. Beauty is the gift of God. The best way to teach morality is to make it a habit with children. Man is by nature a political animal. Suppose, then, that all men were sick or deranged, save one or two of them who were healthy and of right mind. It would then be the latter two who would be thought to be sick and deranged, and the former not. It is clear that the earth does not move, and that it does not lie elsewhere than at the center. Learning is an ornament in prosperity, a refuge in adversity, and a provision in old age. Adventure is worthwhile. Happiness is self-connectedness. Metaphor is halfway between the unintelligible and the commonplace. Happiness is a state of activity. We give up leisure in order that we may have leisure, just as we go to war in order that we may have peace. Knowledge of the fact differs from knowledge of the reason for the fact. All earthquakes and disasters are warnings. There is too much corruption in the world. Virtue is the golden mean between two vices, the one of excess and the other of deficiency. Intuition is the source of scientific knowledge. Perception starts with the eye. Now property is part of a household, and the acquisition of property part of household management, for neither life itself nor the good life is possible without a certain minimum supply of the necessities. The greatest virtues are those which are most useful to other persons. Philosophy can make people sick. Music directly represents the passions of the soul. If one listens to the wrong kind of music, he will become the wrong kind of person. It is best to rise from life as from a banquet, neither thirsty nor drunken. With the truth, all given facts harmonize, but with what is false, the truth soon hits a wrong note. It is the fastest who gets paid, and it is the fastest who gets laid. Man, as an originator of action, is a union of desire and intellect. Even the best of men in authority are liable to be corrupted by passion. We may conclude then that the law is reason without passion, and it is therefore preferable to any individual. Money is a guarantee that we may have what we want in the future. Though we need nothing at the moment, it ensures the possibility of satisfying a new desire when it arises. Justice therefore demands that no one should do more ruling than being ruled, but that all should of their turn